Welcome back to another episode of Microdose of TheMoDose Cannabis. I'm your host, Mo, and today we're talking about recalibration. We're going to do a quick demo on how to recalibrate our pH meter. And it is super important because our pH for our grow of our reservoir needs to be between a 5.5 and a 6.5. And that is because that's the only pH range where our plants will actually absorb nutrients. So super, super important. For those of you that are using droplets, to get a directional read on your pH, this video is not for you. I'm sure you'll be back soon because that is frustrating as hell. But this is for people who are using digital pH meters and recalibrating those. I am going to just quickly do a demo today using 2-point calibration. So we're going to use 4.0 and we're going to go to 6.86. If you were to do a 3-point calibration, that's when you would incorporate your 9.18. But for the sake of today's video, we're doing dose calibration, okay? Every pH meter is different. So for today's video, I'm going to recalibrate this Vivo Sun $20-ish meter that I got on Amazon. I really want to call this a shitty meter, but it's really not. It's actually pretty good for the price point and the quality of the meter. But if you have a meter like this, you're gonna wanna calibrate it more frequently. So maybe like every other week is probably safe. If you have a higher quality meter, then maybe once a month, but definitely in between grows. It depends on the quality of the meter, and it also depends on how you treat your meter. So if you're someone who tends to leave the lid off, you're gonna need to calibrate it more frequently. Why? Because this like dries out the actual reader and messes up the reading itself. So that's a no-no. So let's talk about what it is we need, the materials for this demo. So first things first, we need some distilled water. So I went ahead and got a 2-liter gallon of distilled water, and I have my measuring cup here, which helps me measure out 250 milliliters. So I am going to be doing, as I mentioned, 2-point calibration. So I will need 2 cups, and these are glass cups. You need them to be glass cups of 250 milliliters of water. I will then mix in my pH solution into each cup separately. So my 4.0 and my 6.86, I will put this in here and stir it up until it's completely dissolved, okay? And these packets came with like complimentary with my pH meter, and that's probably, you'll only be able to use this the first time, but you can buy pH solution that you can use, moving forward. This other cup here is just distilled water, 250 milliliters, so I can rinse my meter after I actually calibrate it. And then I'll actually just need something to dry off the meter in between as well. And that's it. That's it. That's all we need. So let's do it. Okay, so we're back and we have our solutions that are diluted into the 250 milliliters of water. So this is our 4.0 solution and this is our 6.86, and this is just our plain distilled water. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to turn on our pH meter, and I'm going to put this into the 6.86 solution, let it settle for a second, and then I'm going to press the calibration button and I'm going to hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5 seconds. It's flashing, and then it gives me an end, and it gives me a 6.86 reading, which is perfect. And I'm going to take this out and I'm going to give it a little zhuzh in the water and dry it off. Then I am going to put the meter into our 4.0 solution, settle a little bit, and then press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it is calibrating its end, and it's giving me a 4.01 reading, which I'm totally cool with. So I'm gonna just Go ahead and dry that off again. And the way to check to see if everything was successful will be to actually just put it into one of the solutions without pressing any calibration buttons. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the 4.0 solution, and still reading. It's giving me a 4.02, which I am totally cool with, which means our job is successful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and do all that stuff, and I'll see you here for the next episode.